Chen Feng crossed the ice and fire eyes of Douluo continent and met Xiaowu in a wedding dress, preparing to complete the final engagement ceremony with Tang San. Isn't this exciting for single dogs? At critical moments, obtain the martial soul system and awaken the divine level talent of the martial soul zombie tooth at the beginning of the game. Having a talent for soul skills as a primary servant, one can make the soul master submit to the black transformation and randomly obtain a martial soul fusion skill that can be used together with the black transformation soul master. At the wedding, when Tang San handed over a flower in his hand, Heihua Xiaowu said, "Sorry, I'm here to withdraw. Also, return all my soul rings and bones to me." Tang San collapsed, and Tang Hao and A Yin were dumbfounded. Keywords of the novel. Douluo. The beginning makes Xiaowu black, and Tang San has no pop-ups when he withdraws. Douluo. The beginning makes Xiaowu black, and Tang San withdraws. Download the complete text of Tang San. Douluo. The beginning makes Xiaowu black, and Tang San withdraws. Read the latest chapters of Tang San. Chapter 1. Body, martial soul, and rigorous teeth of the gods, with 2 purple soul rings at the beginning of the game. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Body, martial soul, and rigorous teeth of the gods, with 2 purple soul rings at the beginning of the game. Douluo continent, located in the center of the sunset forest, near the ice and fire 2 eyes. What kind of place is this? Chen Feng sat on the ground, looking around in confusion. The scenery around him was beautiful, but I was looking back at Douluo at home and cursing Tang San. Why did I suddenly come here? Ding! The martial soul system has been activated. Congratulations to the host for obtaining a beginner gift pack. Do you want to open it now? At this moment, a mechanized sound rang out in my mind. Martial Soul Awakening System. Chen Feng suddenly sat up straight, his eyes wide open, and his face full of disbelief. Isn't this the essential golden finger for travelers? Did I cross? Anyway, let's take a look at the beginner gift pack first. System, open the beginner gift pack. He said in his heart. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining +1 basic physical fitness card, +1 divine level talent martial soul awakening card, and +2 divine bestowed soul rings, all of which have been stored in the system space and can be taken by the host themselves. With the sound of the system prompt, 4 cards came to Chen Feng's mind. Primary physical fitness card can increase physical fitness by 10 times, crush and use. Divine Level Talent Martial Soul Awakening card can awaken Divine Level Talent Martial Souls, possess innate level 20 soul power, and obtain innate soul skills, which can be crushed and used. Divine Soul Ring. You can obtain a soul ring that perfectly matches your own martial soul and has reached the maximum lifespan of your physical body. Crush it and use it. They are all good things. Chen Feng grinned and didn't say much about his constitution card. The stronger his constitution, the higher the age of the fused soul ring. Divine level innate martial soul, although I have never heard of it, it can be seen from the information transmitted that it has more innate soul skills than ordinary divine level martial souls. Qian Renxue also possesses divine level martial souls, but does not possess innate soul skills. The divine soul ring is also a good thing, which can obtain a soul ring that perfectly matches the strength of one's own martial soul and physical body. Take out 4 cards from the system space and first crush the divine level talent soul awakening card. Ding! The host uses the divine level talent soul awakening card. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the divine level talent soul. The body soul is stiff and the divine tooth is stiff, and the innate soul power has been increased to level 20. Accompanied by the sound of the system prompt, Chen Feng's 2 tiger teeth extended, forming 2 sparkling sharp teeth. At the same time, a powerful soul power rushed into his body, strengthening his physical body. Having level 20 soul power, one naturally wants to elevate their physical body to the level of a level 20 soul master. The tooth of the stiff god. What the hell is that? Feng looked bewildered. God-level talent martial soul, it sounds so tall, but why did you give me this thing? Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the innate soul skill, first Maid, vampire. The system prompt sounds again, and at the same time, a stream of information rushes into the mind. First servant. A soul master who has been bitten by the teeth of a martial soul zombie will have his soul blackened and will never betray him. At the same time, you can also obtain a martial soul fusion skill that can be used together with the black soul master. Vampire. It can be achieved by devouring soul beasts or practicing the essence and blood of soul masters, which is faster than conventional cultivation methods. I'll go, these two innate soul skills really enhance strength and cultivate the ultimate divine skills of power. Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. Later, he crushed the basic physical fitness card again. Ding. The host uses a basic physical fitness card, which increases their physical fitness by 10 times. With the sound of the system prompt, a powerful energy surged into his body, once again elevating his physical body tenfold. Feeling the powerful power emanating from his physical body, Feng was full of anticipation for his first soul ring. Feng sat cross-legged, took out the divine soul ring card and crushed it. A strong energy surged into his body again. After a long time, a purple soul ring appeared beneath him. The first soul ring, a 30-100-year purple soul ring. The first soul skill. The body of the zombie god. After using this soul skill, the power is infinite, making it impervious to weapons and knives. For every level of soul power increase, the power increases by 5%. After the fusion of soul rings, Feng's physical strength was significantly increased again. And it is a 30-100-year soul ring, with a greater improvement than a regular soul ring. The tooth of the zombie spirit, the first servant, the vampire, the body of the zombie spirit, this is what led me towards the direction of vampire zombies. Feng murmured softly and crushed the last divine soul ring card. A stronger and more powerful energy flooded into his body than the previous time, and after a long time, a purple soul ring appeared under him, with a lifespan of 6,000 years. The second soul skill. The wings of the dead god. Applying this skill will give you a pair of golden wings and extremely fast flight speed. For every level of soul power increase, speed increases by 10%. Feng was a bit speechless. With two soul skills, one is the body of a stiff god, and the other is the wings of a stiff god. This is to create himself into a stiff god in the Douluo world from all angles. Shake your head, get up and look around again, ready to leave here. Up to now, he can basically confirm that he has traveled to the world of Douluo continent. In the introduction information of the talent soul skill beginner, he can be a beginner soul master. Based on my own soul master system, I have basically determined that this is the Douluo world. He randomly chose a direction and walked aimlessly, looking at the surroundings. He always had an inexplicable sense of familiarity, as if he had seen it somewhere before. Suddenly, he paused in his footsteps. Not far ahead, a young girl wearing a wedding dress and wearing crystal shoes sat on a hanging chair woven from vines, facing herself and quietly combing her hair with a comb. Looking from the side, it has a proud heart and a perfect profile. It's you, my first blackened blood slave. At the moment he saw the young girl, a faint smile appeared on Feng's face. He looked at his fingers, bit them hard, and then smeared a layer of blood on his face and mouth. Help, help. He lay on the ground, pretending to be seriously injured and crawling forward, with a face full of pain and fear. Upon hearing the subtle sound, the girl turned her head and looked over. At the moment of seeing the girl's face, Feng was stunned. Is this, Xiaowu? The girl's appearance is very similar to the small dance in Douluo anime he watched in his previous life, except that one is an anime model and the other is a live-action model. Is this the Eye of Ice and Fire? Chen Feng finally understood why there was an inexplicable sense of familiarity when he saw the environment here, which was the ice and fire eyes of the sunset forest, almost identical to the scenes in the anime. This is the world of Douluo anime. A simple yet romantic makeup area woven with dense vines isolates Tang San from the other side, making it impossible to see what is happening in this area. This is a great opportunity for beginners to dance, probably the only time. Are you okay? Xiaowu saw Chen Feng and quickly walked over to ask with concern, but she also secretly guarded. The ice and fire Liangyi Eye itself is a rarely visited place, and suddenly a strange man appears, forcing one to be on guard. I was attacked by a soul beast and fled here in a panic. I thought I was dead, but I didn't expect to meet a soul master here again. Please help me, miss, Chen Feng said weakly. Soul beast attack. Xiaowu Xiu frowned slightly, with a hint of doubt in her eyes. This is the eyes of both ice and fire, there is no soul beast nearby. If he is attacked by a soul beast from a distance, how could he escape to the eyes of ice and fire with his severely injured body? Xiaowu couldn't help but become more cautious. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. The first Maid Xiaowu and Tang San's divorce. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. The first Maid Xiaowu and Tang San's divorce. Chen Feng originally intended to lure Xiaowu in front of him and make a sudden attack, biting her smooth and fair neck. Unexpectedly, Xiaowu's vigilance was so strong. If we keep dragging on, it will be troublesome if Tang San and Tang Hao discover it. Chen Feng's mind twitched as he looked behind Xiaowu and exclaimed in surprise, Tang San. Brother. If it were anyone else, it would certainly not affect Xiaowu's mood, but Tang San's position in her heart was too high, so she instinctively looked back. At the moment she turned around, a pair of huge stiff wings appeared behind Chen Feng's back. The wings shook and transformed into a remnant, rushing out, hugging Xiaowu's delicate body from behind. With one hand covering her mouth and the other gripping her slender waist, her wings trembled and headed straight into the sky. In fact, Xiaowu turned her head and didn't see anyone, feeling uneasy in her heart. With the support of Chen Feng's second soul skill, the wings of the stiff god, her speed was too fast and she arrived in an instant, making it impossible for her to perform teleportation. Now that her body is being held, she is unable to perform teleportation. Invincible golden body. Xiaowu drank coquettishly in her heart, exerting her fourth soul skill, and a layer of golden light appeared. At the same time, she mobilized her soul power and began to struggle frantically. The first soul skill, the body of the stiff god. Chen Feng's voice rang in Xiaowu's ear. At that moment, Xiaowu felt the immense power emanating from her big hands, imprisoning her to death. Even if she tried her best, she couldn't break free. Free. But behind him, Chen Feng's teasing voice rang out. What does it mean? Xiaowu is full of doubts. 4. After waiting for a moment, Chen Feng casually uttered 2 words. Disappear. As soon as the words fell, Xiaowu's invincible golden body disappeared. Xiaowu was shocked in her heart. Invincible golden body is the fourth soul skill, which can last for 3 seconds at the beginning, and can be increased by 1 second for every 10 levels. She is now approaching level 60, and her invincible golden body can last for nearly 5 seconds. Except for third brother, even the other Shrek 5 monsters are not very familiar with her soul skill. How could this stranger know his soul skills so well? Who the hell is he? My name is Chen Feng, and from now on, I will be your master. Chen Feng opened his mouth, revealing 2 stiff teeth and biting into Xiaowu's snow-white neck. Talent soul skill, first servant. Xiaowu let out a muffled groan, her body trembling violently, and a dark aura emanated from her. Her soul is gradually transforming into a dark soul. After a moment, Xiaowu stopped struggling and her soul had completely darkened. At this moment, she has all the memories of the past, but has lost all the emotions of the past and only obeys Chen Feng. Of course, after becoming a blood slave, Xiaowu's soul darkens and will be permanently locked in her physical body, unable to leave. This can also be considered as another way to revive the sacrificial dance. Master. Xiaowu's body softened and obediently leaned against Chen Feng's embrace. The soft and delicate body, the delicate voice, and the appearance of being slaughtered by others all make Chen Feng's heart skip a beat. However, now is not the time to think about these things either. The initial embrace was completed, and a wave of information flooded into the minds of Chen Feng and Xiaowu simultaneously. Martial Soul Fusion Technique. Stiff God Soft Bone Rabbit. The fusion of martial souls and physical bodies, led by Chen Feng, allows for the accumulation of soul power, allowing for the use of all soul skills of two individuals, and the power of all soul skills is doubled. This martial soul fusion technique is somewhat similar to the martial soul fusion technique of Helena and Evil Moon, but it seems to be even more powerful. Xiaowu, what are you doing in the ice and fire Liangyi eyes? Chen Feng held Xiaowu in his arms, suspended in the air, and asked. Master, Tang San is going to see God Island. Before leaving, let me get engaged to him in front of his parents. Before meeting his master, I was about to complete my engagement with Tang San, Xiaowu said in detail. Getting engaged. Chen Feng had already guessed, his eyes rolled, and a hint of evil smile appeared on his face. He said, Xiaowu, go see Tang San and get married. Divorce, what a cliché and bloody plot. This time, it's also on Tang San to let him taste the feeling of being divorced by his beloved fiancé A.E. Unfortunately, based on the current development of the plot, Tang San could never shout the classic line, 30 years east of the river, 30 years west of the river, don't deceive the youth into poverty. Yes, master. Xiaowu nodded. Chen Feng landed from the air, released Xiaowu, and said, I'll wait for you here. After getting married, come find me here. Okay, master. Xiaowu turned around and left, returning to the engagement scene. Tang San, who had been waiting for a long time, saw Xiaowu wearing a wedding dress appear, and his mind suddenly came up with pictures of Xiaowu from the first sight to the present. On his face, there was a smile of happiness and indulgence. Tang Hao on the side showed a pleased smile, while the blue-silver emperor beside him, Ah-in, also waved his branches, celebrating the union of his son and Xiaowu. Xiaowu's gaze was indifferent, and she walked slowly towards Tang San with elegant steps. Xiaowu. Tang San warmly welcomed him and presented the bouquet in his hand. Xiaowu didn't go to pick him up, but looked at Tang San with an indifferent gaze and said calmly, I'm sorry, I'm here to withdraw. Divorce. Tang San's smile stiffened, and Tang Hao beside him was also surprised. All the branches of blue-silver Emperor Ian shook violently twice. After a moment, Tang San smiled again and said softly, Xiaowu, stop playing. I know you're teasing me. Xiaowu's expression remained indifferent and she said calmly, I'm not teasing you or discussing with you. I'm here to inform you that I'm out of wedlock, so don't come to me again in the future. After speaking, Xiaowu turned around and left. Tang San was foolish, Tang Hao was stunned, and the blue-silver Emperor Ian didn't shake the branches anymore. Dad, Mom, I'll go take a look. Tang San chased after him holding a bouquet of flowers. Xiaowu, why? He didn't understand why it suddenly turned out like this when he was still fine before. Xiaowu ignored it and hurried towards the place agreed upon with Chen Feng. Tang San chased fiercely all the way back. Finally, Xiaowu met Chen Feng, and a cold and pretty face showed a smile. She ran away happily and threw herself into his arms. Master, I have already divorced Tang San. Xiaowu said as if inviting credit. Chen Feng hooked up Xiaowu's delicate chin and kissed her red lips, then smiled and said, This is a reward for you. Thank you, Master. Xiaowu's face was full of shyness. And in this scene, Tang San, who happened to be caught up with, saw the bouquet in his hand fall to the ground, his body trembling, and he felt a green grassland above his head. His eyes were torn as he asked, Xiaowu, who is he? Xiaowu snuggled up in Chen Feng's arms and said, he is my master, Chen Feng. Master. Tang San felt a twinge in his heart, and his breathing became somewhat difficult. No. This is not true. Is every bit of our past interactions with Xiaowu fake? Not long ago, Xiaowu offered sacrifices to save herself, and her feelings for me could never be false. He looked at Chen Feng with fiery eyes and asked with a murderous tone, what did you do to Xiaowu? End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Martial Soul Fusion Technique. Stubborn God Soft Bone Rabbit, beating Tang San cruelly. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Martial Soul Fusion Technique. Stubborn God Soft Bone Rabbit, beating Tang San cruelly. What didn't I do? Chen Feng hugged Xiaowu, shrugged his shoulders, and said calmly, perhaps I'm too handsome. Xiaowu fell in love with me at first sight. Impossible. Tang San roared angrily, his eyes turning red. Although he had to admit that Chen Feng was indeed very handsome, Xiaowu was definitely not such a superficial woman. It must be something this guy did to her that made her what she is now. Don't believe it. Chen Feng lowered his head to look at Xiaowu and asked, Xiaowu, tell him, is it because he covets my beauty that he dares to fall for it? Yes, master. Xiaowu nodded seriously and said, the master is the most handsome man in the world. Just one glance, I fell into a trap. After becoming a blood slave, Chen Feng became everything to her, and she was born with a kind of admiration for Chen Feng. Did you hear me? Chen Feng raised his head to look at Tang San and asked with a smile. No, Xiaowu, what's wrong with you? Tang San was heartbroken, and seeing the current little dance, 2 words came to his mind. Lick the dog. That's right, Xiaowu's performance now is completely like a licking dog. This is completely opposite to the gentle, noble, and pure little dance before. He doesn't care about licking his own dog, he can't accept Xiaowu becoming another man's licking dog. Tang San's anger had reached the edge of eruption, directly releasing the twin martial souls. Left hand Haotian hammer, right hand blue silver grass. 6 soul rings, 2 yellow, 1 purple, 2 black, and 1 red, rose from below. Hang on. Seeing Tang San's soul ring, Chen Feng couldn't help roast. He pointed to Tang San's red soul ring and said to Xiaowu, that soul ring and the soul bones on his body are yours. Let him return them. Xiaowu nodded and approached Tang San, saying coldly, Tang San, return all my soul rings and bones to me. Looking at her emotionless expression and tone, as if speaking to a stranger, Tang San's heart twisted like a knife. He turned his head and looked at Chen Feng behind Xiaowu. Only by killing this man can Xiaowu be saved. Chen Feng, you go die for me. Tang San finally couldn't control his anger and wrapped his hand in blue silver, breaking through the air. Chen Feng's martial soul was released, 2 stiff divine teeth extended out, and 2 purple soul rings appeared at his feet. Are both the first and second soul rings purple? Tang San was taken aback, which completely contradicted the teacher's theory. The second soul skill, the wings of the stiff god. Behind Chen Feng appeared a pair of huge wings, which shook and rose into the air, beyond the attack range wrapped in blue silver, looking down at Tang San from a high position. Xiaowu's beautiful eyes showed a hint of anger and she coquettishly exclaimed, Tang San. Tang San heard Xiaowu's voice and instinctively looked over. But seeing a red light flickering in Xiaowu's eyes, she suddenly felt uneasy, but unfortunately it was too late. The second soul skill, charm. Xiaowu used her second soul skill to briefly enchant Tang San, and then used her third soul skill teleportation to appear next to Tang San. Before she regained consciousness, she once again used her first soul skill, the waist bow. A set of combos directly stunned Tang San. Xiaowu. Tang San got up from the ground and looked at Xiaowu with complex eyes. At this moment, Feng had already landed from the air and appeared beside Xiaowu, reaching out to embrace her small waist. Feng, take your hand off Xiaowu's waist for me. Tang San gritted his teeth and his anger burned fiercely. Can't you take it anymore? Feng smiled slightly and hooked Xiaowu's delicate chin with his other hand. He kissed her red lips and exclaimed, "It's really fragrant. Damn it. Die for me." Tang San's anger erupted again and he directly used his fifth soul skill, the blue-silver overlord spear, to throw it at Feng. The fourth soul skill, invincible golden body. Xiaowu stood in front of Feng, with a layer of gold shining on her body, blocking the blue-silver overlord spear. Xiaowu, you. Tang San saw his beloved woman and once again blocked his attack for another man, feeling both anger and sorrow in his heart. Xiaowu ignored him and turned her head shyly, saying, "Master, he is a level 66 soul emperor with strong strength. We must use the martial soul fusion technique." Feng nodded. Currently, he is only at level 20, with a huge gap in soul power compared to Tang San. He is not a match for Tang San in real combat. Xiaowu has not yet broken through level 60, even if Tang San is lenient towards her, she is not Tang San's enemy. Only with the martial soul fusion technique can Tang San be defeated. Feng held Xiaowu's jade hand and said calmly, "The fusion technique of martial souls is a stiff and soft bone rabbit." A storm surged out, protecting Feng and Xiaowu, making it difficult to see the scene inside. When the storm dissipated, Feng and Xiaowu were nowhere to be found, only a mysterious person wearing a rabbit mask. Demon charm. No, how could you have such a martial soul fusion technique? Tang San's mind came to mind the martial soul fusion technique used by Hulina and Xiaoyu in the Soul Master Elite competition. Hulina and Xiaoyu are siblings with similar intentions, and having such martial soul fusion skills can still be justified. How could Feng and Xiaowu have such a martial soul fusion technique? Do they share the same intention? No, it's impossible. Tang San cannot accept such a fact. He and Xiaowu still don't have a martial soul fusion skill, how can he tolerate Xiaowu and other men having such a martial soul fusion skill? Xiaowu can only connect with his heart. It must be that bastard who did something to Xiaowu. I've said it all, we are truly connected. It's my honor to have the same intention as the host. The voices of Feng and Xiaowu came from within the masked soul master's body. No, die for me. Tang San roared angrily, waved his hand, and countless blue-silver grasses spread out, imprisoning the masked soul master formed by the fusion of Feng and Xiaowu. Blue-silver prison, Tang San's fourth soul skill. Now that he is enraged and overwhelmed, he has completely lost control. Just relying on this thing, you want to trap us too? Feng sneered, and the first soul skill, the stiff god's body, was unleashed, causing a surge in strength. Coupled with the fusion of martial souls, this soul skill was used, doubling its strength once again. He clenched his fists and unleashed a violent force that shattered the blue-silver prison. Tang San was taken aback by the terrifying power. It's my turn. Feng sneered and rose into the air. The wings of the stiff god shook and appeared in front of Tang San in an instant, with a punch thrown out. So fast. This speed is comparable to teleportation. Tang San was shocked and pale. It was too late to retreat, so he could only use his sixth soul skill, which was meaningless. This soul skill is immune to physical attacks. The second soul skill, charm. Xiaowu's voice rang out from within the masked soul master's body, and a red light flashed in his eyes. Not good. Tang San wanted to shift his gaze, but it was too late and he was once again enchanted by Xiaowu. Moreover, in the state of martial soul fusion, the effect of charm has doubled. This time, Tang San is not as easy as last time to get rid of the charm. Being enchanted, Tang San was unable to maintain his soul skills and withdrew from the void state. Bang! Chen Feng's fist landed on Tang San's face and directly flew him out. Before he could land, a teleportation caught up and punched him into the sky. The wings of the stiff god shook and soared into the sky, then punched Tang San into the sky. With just one punch after another, Tang San's blood spurted uncontrollably and he had no strength to fight back. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Forcing Tang San to peel off the soul ring and soul bone for 100,000 years. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Forcing Tang San to peel off the soul ring and soul bone for 100,000 years. Waist bow. After beating Tang San in the air for an unknown amount of time, Chen Feng felt a bit tired before using Xiaowu's first soul skill to shoot Tang San down from high altitude. A figure broke through the air and caught Tang San as he fell, landing steadily. Tang Hao. Chen Feng frowned slightly. Although his strength was not at its peak, he was still a very strong guy. However, he is not afraid. Having the wings of the stiff god, in the state of martial soul fusion, he wants to escape, even Tang Hao cannot catch up. He shook his wings, suspended in the air, coldly looking at Tang Hao on the ground and Tang San who had been severely injured. Who are you? Why did you hurt my son? Tang Hao placed Tang San on the ground, looked up at Chen Feng in the air, and asked coldly. Do we still need a reason to beat him up? Chen Feng said coldly. Tang Hao suddenly fell into a state of silence. He had never seen such a shameless person before, and for a moment, he felt a bit overwhelmed. Since that's the case, let me learn your soul skills. Tang Hao released his martial soul Haotian hammer, and his powerful momentum rippled. Tang San. Xiaowu's voice emanated from the masked soul master. Tang Hao, who was about to launch an attack, paused for a moment with a surprised expression on his face. He turned to look at Tang San and asked with some uncertainty, Xiaowu. Tang San coughed up a mouthful of blood, nodded with a gloomy expression, struggled to get up, and looked up to ask, how on earth do you want to let Xiaowu go? Tang Hao dare not attack recklessly. If he harms Xiaowu, his son will go crazy. Chen Feng sneered and said, I have already said that Xiaowu fell in love with me at first sight and thought I was more handsome than you, so she abandoned you. Also, Xiaowu said that you should return her soul ring and soul bone. You don't deserve them. Upon hearing these words, Tang San was so angry that he spat out 2 more mouthfuls of blood, holding on to the last glimmer of hope and saying, Xiaowu. The master is right, you don't deserve to have my soul ring and soul bone. Xiaowu's heartless voice came from within the masked soul master's body. Tang Sanru was struck by lightning and his body was on the verge of collapse. The scene of Xiaowu's sacrifice came to mind, and at that time, Xiaowu looked at herself with such tenderness and sweetness in her eyes. But now, yet so heartless. What exactly happened and why did Xiaowu undergo such a revolutionary transformation? Chen Feng was also afraid that Tang San would not want to separate, so he said, Xiaowu's sacrifice would prevent her soul and body from combining for a long time. I can completely revive her, but I need her soul ring and soul bone. Of course, you can also ignore her. Anyway, even if her soul dissipates, her body can still be used by me. You. Although Tang San was devastated by Xiaowu's heartless words, he still cared about Xiaowu's safety. However, he obviously doesn't quite believe Chen Feng's words. Chen Feng said lightly, didn't you realize that when Xiaowu and I are together, our souls and bodies can be combined for a long time? This. Tang San was momentarily stunned. It has been a long time since we started preparing for the engagement ceremony. According to time, Xiaowu's soul should have returned to the soul ring long ago. But now, she still stays well inside Xiaowu's body, seemingly without any discomfort. Does he really have a way to save Xiaowu? Let him save Xiaowu first, and we can always find a way to save Xiaowu in the future. Thinking of this, Tang San gritted his teeth and said, I hope you keep your promises. Otherwise, even if you chase me to the ends of the earth, I will kill you. Chen Feng said calmly, from now on, Xiaowu has nothing to do with you. She is my blood slave. Quickly strip off her soul ring and soul bone. Blood slaves. Tang San clenched his fist, his eyes burning with anger. He doesn't know what a blood slave is, but it's not a good thing to hear that name. But now he has no choice. The other woman Tang Haoan knows the pain and consequences of stripping the soul ring and soul bone, and wants to stop it. But Tang San shook his head with a determined expression. Chen Feng may not care about Xiaowu's soul, but he cannot let it go. He endured immense pain and stripped away the 100,000-year soul ring obtained from Xiaowu's sacrifice, as well as the soft bone rabbit's right arm's soul bone obtained from Xiaowu. The immense pain made him scream in agony, and his already severely injured body, after peeling off its soul ring and bones, was on the brink of death. To remove the soul bone, one must cut off the right arm, and the pain inside is unimaginable. Tang Hao beside him felt heartbroken but helpless. Soul rings, and soul bones, I have separated them. I hope you can keep your promises. Tang San said weakly. The soul ring and soul bone were detached, and his soul power was directly reduced by level 10. In addition, he was already injured, which almost cost him half of his life. You don't need to worry about it anymore. Chen Feng waved his hand and collected the soul ring and soul bone into the system space. Soul rings are detached and generally cannot be stored for a long time, but in system space, even if stored for millions of years, there is no problem. Looking at Tang San on the ground, who was on the brink of death, Chen Feng's voice rang out again. Tang San, your mother is actually pretty good. I'll resurrect her as soon as possible. After you resurrect her, I'll turn her into my blood slave. Puff. Tang San, who was already on the brink of death, immediately spat out a mouthful of blood upon hearing these words and fainted on the spot. You want to die? Tang Hao was furious and wanted to launch an attack. If you don't save your son again, he will really die. Chen Feng smiled calmly. You. Tang Hao looked at Chen Feng and then at his unconscious son. Although he was furious and wished he could smash Chen Feng into pieces immediately, he had to restrain his anger, pick up his son, and fly away. Ha ha ha. Chen Feng laughed up to the sky, feeling particularly relaxed. Master, would you be happy to see them eat flat? Xiaowu's voice rang out, clearly with some confusion. Of course. Chen Feng said with great certainty. Well, then I'll beat them up every time I see them in the future. Xiaowu's voice was very serious. After becoming a blood slave, all her thoughts were on Chen Feng. As long as Chen Feng was happy, she could do anything. Okay. Haha. Chen Feng laughed heartily. Thinking about Tang San's expression of being beaten up by Xiaowu whenever he encounters her in the future, it must be extremely sad and unbearable. Thinking about it makes people excited. Xiaowu is just the beginning, Shrek Sanmei, Helena, Qian Rangshu, wait for me to be the first servant. The wings of the stiff god behind shook and broke through the air, finding a safe cave to settle in the sunset forest. After releasing the martial soul fusion state, the powerful feeling dissipated instantly. Chen Feng sighed and said, this martial soul fusion technique is really incredibly strong. Master. Xiaowu crawled into Chen Feng's arms again, he was really a clingy little rabbit. Chen Feng is not Lu Xiaohui. With such a beautiful woman in her arms, she couldn't hold on and pushed Xiaowu to the ground, transforming into a wolf and pouncing. Even if Xiaowu turned into a blood slave and blackened out, she was still ignorant of these things and asked with a pure expression, Master, what are you doing? End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Fusion of Little Dance Soul Bones. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5 Fusion of Little Dance Soul Bones. After finishing, Feng patted Xiaowu's smooth back and joked, "Xiaochan cat, no, Xiaochan rabbit, it's time to get up. I need to go practice now. Tang San is already at level 66. After his injury recovers, he will definitely go to see God Island, and his cultivation will make a rapid progress. I am only at level 20, and my soul power is too low." The reason why Tang San was able to defeat him so easily this time was entirely because he had lost his balance. If you don't improve your cultivation as soon as possible, it won't be so easy to defeat Tang San next time. However, his cultivation method is not quite the same as that of an ordinary soul master. Okay. Xiaowu turned over and sat up, the towering Mount Everest trembling slightly. Feng swallowed his saliva and almost couldn't control it. Shaking his head, he stood up and said, "Put on your clothes, I'll go out to practice." Xiaowu put on clothes and asked in confusion, "Master, aren't you practicing in this cave? Why did you go out?" Feng smiled and said, "My cultivation method is quite unique. In addition to conventional cultivation methods, I can also absorb the blood of soul beasts or soul masters for cultivation." Vampire. Xiaowu put on her clothes, thought for a moment, and reached out her snow-white jade hand, saying, "Master, I have eaten acacia heartbreak red before and have not fully absorbed the medicinal power. Most of the medicinal power is still in my blood. You should absorb my blood for cultivation, and the effect should be even better, right?" Acacia and heartbroken red. Feng's eyes lit up. After Xiaowu's sacrifice, Tang San gave Xiaowu the heartbroken red wine of lovesickness to eat. With her current strength, it is indeed impossible to completely refine the medicinal power of acacia heartbreaking red. Her blood also contains a lot of medicinal power from the heartbreak of lovesickness. Absorbing her blood for cultivation will indeed have a very good effect. Then I'll take a little sip. Feng's gaze fell on Xiaowu's fair neck again. "Aha." Xiaowu nodded repeatedly, feeling very happy that she could provide help to the host. Feng poured Xiaowu into his arms, releasing his martial soul of the tooth of the dead god. He bit Xiaowu's neck and used his innate soul skills to suck blood. The first servant is to transfer her essence and blood into Xiaowu's body, turning her into a blood slave. Vampire, on the other hand, absorbed Xiaowu's blood into her body for cultivation. Xiaowu murmured, her body so soft that it was in Feng's arms, as if all her strength had been drained. Feng did not absorb too much of her essence and blood to avoid any impact on her body. "Okay, you can rest first and I'll practice for a while." Feng started a small dance and extended his tongue to add the blood stains on his mouth, then said, "Okay, master." Xiaowu nodded, her body feeling a bit weak, and leaned against the cave wall to rest. Feng sat cross-legged next to him, beginning to refine and absorb the essence and blood. Absorbing the essence and blood of ordinary soul masters or soul beasts is simply not enough for him to cultivate. But Xiaowu's blood contains the unrefined medicinal power of acacia heartbreaking red, which is among the immortal products. How powerful the medicinal power is. Immortal medicinal power, combined with 100,000 years of soul beast essence and blood, are undoubtedly excellent supplements for Feng's cultivation. However, this one bite did not significantly improve his cultivation. The reason for taking a sip of Xiaowu's blood for cultivation is simply to obtain the medicinal power of acacia heartbreaking red. Life and death, human flesh and white bones, this is the greatest effect of acacia heartbreaking red. Although these medicinal powers are not yet sufficient to reach this level, they are also enough to elevate Feng's recovery power to a higher level. After quickly refining the energy contained in the blood and converting it into his own soul power, Feng stopped. Surprisingly, I was promoted 2 levels. Feng was somewhat surprised. That sip of blood essence actually increased his soul power by 2 levels. If Xiaowu's whole body is drained of essence and blood, how much level does it need to be upgraded? For a moment, Chen Feng's gaze towards Xiaowu changed slightly. Master, are you still smoking? Xiaowu had no idea what Chen Feng was thinking and foolishly extended her fair neck over. Forget it. Chen Feng shook his head and saw the evil thoughts in his heart put aside. Absorbing too much of your essence and blood will cause irreparable damage to you. You give me protection, I want to merge soul bones. Okay, master. Xiaowu nodded and walked to the cave entrance to sit down. Chen Feng thought for a moment and took out a soul bone from the system space. This appeared on Tang's San after Xiaowu's sacrifice. The soul bone of the soft bone rabbit's right arm. Integrating the soul bones of a 100,000-year-old soul beast greatly enhances soul power. Now that Chen Feng needs to quickly improve his cultivation, he naturally won't give this soul bone to Xiaowu. After the fusion of the soft bone rabbit's right arm bone, Chen Feng's soul power was directly increased by 6 levels, reaching level 28, and he obtained 2 soul bone skills. Invincible golden body. Can be invincible for 3 seconds. Teleportation. Can teleport up to 100 meters. However, there is still a significant gap between reaching level 30. Chen Feng looked at Xiaowu and said, Xiaowu, come with me to hunt down a soul beast that has been around for thousands of years. Xiaowu's soul ring is 100,000 years old, and with his current physical strength, it is still a bit risky to forcibly absorb it. Anyway, if placed in the system space, the soul ring will not disappear. According to Chen Feng's estimation, the limit of his third soul ring should be around 10,000 years. Hunting a soul beast that has been around for thousands of years, absorbing its essence and blood for cultivation, can break through to level 30, and then absorb its soul ring to become the third ring soul lord. Yes, master. Xiaowu stood up and left with Chen Feng. The two searched for 3 whole hours in the sunset forest, but did not find the soul beast that satisfied Chen Feng. Master, be careful. At this moment, Xiaowu sensed something was wrong and pulled Chen Feng into the air, landing more than 10 meters away. Chen Feng turned his head and saw a creature with a diameter exceeding 3 meters. 8 strange spiders with long legs exceeding 5 or 6 meters, like spears, emerged from the dark corners first. Its entire body has a black shell, shining brightly. Long legs with slender front end, piercing into the ground. There are some white patterns on the underside of the spider, forming a ferocious facial shape. 8 small eyes flickering with a faint purple light, tightly pressed against its lower abdomen. 10,000 years of human face magic spider. Chen Feng furrowed his brows slightly, and the only thing that could be invisible was a human-faced magic spider that had been around for over 10,000 years. Although he wanted to hunt down eternal soul beasts, the human-faced magic spider was somewhat difficult to deal with. However, since we have encountered it, we naturally cannot let it go. Xiaowu, the fusion technique of martial souls, Chen Feng quickly said. He is only at level 28, and Xiaowu is only at level 56. Even with joint efforts, it is impossible to defeat this 10,000 grade human-faced magic spider. Okay. Xiaowu nodded. Subsequently, the two of them held hands and used the martial soul fusion technique to stiffen the god soft bone rabbit. Wrapped in a storm, perfectly fused to form a brand new spirit with a soft bone rabbit mask. Just as the fusion was completed, a spider web struck. Teleportation. Chen Feng used his soul bone skill to teleport and instantly appeared in front of the human-faced magic spider. With the blessing of the soul skill stubborn god's body, a punch was thrown out. The body of the dead god is the first soul skill. After level 10, for every level of soul power increase, the power increases by 5%. In the state of martial soul fusion, the soul power of the two individuals is stacked, reaching level 84, and their power has increased by 370%. In addition, with the fusion of martial souls, the power of soul skills has doubled. Both strength and physical defense are already terrifying. With this punch, even the void was sizzling. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Hunting and killing the 10,000-year human-faced magic spider, absorbing the 10,000-year soul ring. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Hunting and killing the 10,000-year human-faced magic spider, absorbing the 10,000-year soul ring. The human-faced magic spider reacted extremely quickly and stabbed it with its sharp long legs. It seems to be very confident in its long legs, without soul beasts or soul masters, daring to use its physical body to forcefully attack its long legs. Bang! Click! Two loud noises followed, and the legs of the human-faced magic spider were broken inch by inch. The human-faced magic spider let out a painful and sharp cry, and then spewed out a spider web. The wings of the stiff god trembled, transforming into a lingering shadow and rising into the air. Damn it, I want to see how many times you can still spray the internet. Chen Feng's voice came from within the body of the rabbit-faced soul master. In his memory, the human-faced magic spider under 100,000 years old can only spray its web 3 times a day. This human-faced magic spider has already sprayed twice. Perhaps this sentence angered the human-faced magic spider, which let out a sharp cry and sprayed out a venom. The wings of the stiff god behind Chen Feng trembled and quickly dodged. The human-faced magic spider suddenly rose into the air, waving the remaining 7 sharp spider legs and launching a fierce attack on Chen Feng. Chen Feng sneered and the wings of the stiff god vibrated, appearing behind the human-faced magic spider in an instant. The wings of the zombie god have an extremely fast speed. After level 20, for every level increase in soul power, the speed increases by 10%. In the state of martial soul fusion, the soul power of the two individuals is stacked, reaching level 84, and their speed has increased by 640%. When combined with the martial soul fusion technique, the power of the soul technique is doubled, and the speed is even more terrifying. The speed of the human-faced magic spider is already very fast, but compared to the current Chen Feng, it is still far behind. Waist bow. Chen Feng let out a low moan and used Xiaowu's first soul skill to kick the aerial human-face magic spider fiercely. With just a click, the hard shell on its back shattered instantly. With a loud bang, the human-faced magic spider hit the ground heavily, splashing a patch of dust. Without waiting for it to regain its flavor, Chen Feng also fell with a loud roar, and his powerful force gathered at his feet, kicking fiercely. Buzz! At this moment, a red light descended from the sky, and an evil aura rushed in. Is the spider god possessed? Chen Feng stopped and frowned slightly. Under the possession of the spider god, the human-face magic spider will have all attributes improved, but for every second it lasts, it will consume 1 year of cultivation. He's not worried about not winning, he's worried that it will consume too much cultivation and eventually fall by 10,000 years, which will result in a huge loss. Bang! The human-faced magic spider rose into the air and landed on a giant rock. Its originally purple shell turned red, emitting an incredibly evil aura all over its body. A spider web sprayed out at a much faster speed than before. Soft Bone Rabbit's right arm soul bone skill, teleportation. Chen Feng looked at the distance between the two sides, which was about 70.80 meters. He directly used his soul bone skill and his body flashed, appearing behind the human-faced magic spider in an instant. Grasping a spider leg in one hand, then the stiff wings flapped and soared into the sky like a shell. Improving all attributes will ultimately prevent flying. The sky is Chen Feng's home ground, where he can attack freely. The human-faced magic spider became anxious and continuously launched attacks with the remaining 6 spider legs, spewing out red venom from its mouth. Chen Feng let go of his hand and the human-faced magic spider fell down. After dodging the venom attack, his wings trembled and he chased after the falling human-faced magic spider. He appeared below him in an instant, punching him in the abdomen with terrifying force, sending him into the higher sky. Chen Feng rose up again, treating the human-faced magic spider like a sandbag and beating it fiercely in the air. Even if the human-faced magic spider is in a state of being possessed by a spider god and has all its attributes improved, it has nothing to do in the air. Chen Fengli said, his speed was incredibly terrifying. With each punch, the hard shell of the human-faced magic spider would be shattered on the spot. After about 20 punches, the screams of the human-faced magic spider disappeared and they died completely. Ding! Congratulations to the host for hunting the 13,000-year-old human-faced magic spider and obtaining 1,300 awakening points. Chen Feng heard a system prompt sound in his mind. Awakening points are used to awaken martial souls or purchase items in the system mall. As long as there are enough awakening points, divine soul rings can also be purchased. Boom! Chen Feng landed with the corpse of the human-faced magic spider, relieving the fusion state of martial souls. Master, this ugly big guy has finally died. Hurry up and absorb its blood for cultivation, Xiaowu urged. After the soul beast dies, if it does not absorb the soul ring within an hour, the soul ring will disappear. It is necessary to increase soul power to level 30 by absorbing the blood of the human-face magic spider for cultivation within this hour. Looking at the ugly red body, Chen Feng felt a bit conflicted. This human-faced magic spider is a bit too ugly, it's not easy to swallow. Master, its spider god possession state has not disappeared yet. At this time, it is absorbing its essence and blood, perhaps there is an unexpected surprise, Xiaowu reminded. Xiaowu, you're really smart. Chen Feng's eyes lit up, he hugged Xiaowu and kissed her before coming to the face of the human-faced magic spider. He circled around it, but still couldn't take a bite. After thinking for a moment, he found a hollow branch and inserted it into the body of the human-faced magic spider. Green oil with strands of red blood flowed out along the hollow branch. Chen Feng opened his mouth to catch it and swallowed it. Xiaowu pinched her nose, covered her mouth, and thought with a disdainful expression, "You must have the master wash your mouth hard later, otherwise you won't be allowed to kiss me." Never betray. Following Chen Feng's orders does not mean she lacks her own careful thinking. As soon as she thought of her master kissing her with the mouth full of spider blood, which was full of green oil, she felt a chill and nausea. Chen Feng didn't know what Xiaowu was thinking. At this moment, he was shocked by the energy contained in the essence and blood of the human-face magic spider. This energy is even greater than the energy contained in Xiaowu's essence and blood. You should know that Xiaowu is a soul beast that has been around for 100,000 years, and her essence and blood also contain the medicinal power of acacia heartbreaking red. However, the human-faced magic spider only lasts for a few thousand years, so theoretically, the energy contained in the essence and blood cannot be greater than that of Xiaowu. The only possibility is that its essence and blood also contain the mysterious energy possessed by the spider god. This energy may come from the so-called spider god. At this moment, he didn't care about any nausea and vomiting. He wished he could immediately absorb the essence and blood of the human-face magic spider. Because the longer the delay, the faster this powerful energy will dissipate. As he had expected, the red energy dissipated quickly and disappeared without a trace in about a dozen seconds. And Chen Feng also stopped swallowing and sucking spider blood. After letting Xiaowu protect him, he sat cross-legged on the side and began practicing. In about half an hour, the spider blood containing special energy was completely refined, directly increasing his soul power by 3 levels, reaching level 31. Get it done. Chen Feng regained his power and came back to the face of the human-faced magic spider, releasing his soul power and pulling the soul ring that absorbed the human-faced magic spider. For ordinary soul masters, it is impossible for the third soul ring to absorb the eternal soul ring. Even Tang San, who is hanging on the wall, dares not absorb the eternal soul ring. But at the beginning, Chen Feng used an intermediate physical fitness card, which increased his physical fitness by 100 times, and his physical strength was incredibly strong. Adding the first soul ring for 3,000 years and the second soul ring for 6,000 years, his physical body is equally powerful. With multiple conditions, he can absorb soul rings at the level of 10,000 years in the third soul ring. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Blood Slave Xiaowu absorbs 100,000-year soul rings. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Blood Slave Xiaowu absorbs 100,000-year soul rings. The eternal soul ring contains a powerful energy impact. If it weren't for Chen Feng's strong physical body, it would never have been possible to absorb the eternal soul ring at level 30. Buzz. Finally, the soul ring was successfully absorbed and the third soul skill, the stubborn god spider spear, was obtained. By using this skill, a spear transformed from the legs of a human-faced magic spider will be condensed. The spear has extremely strong individual attack power and contains toxins that can infect nerves. If the toxins are not expelled in time, it will become a puppet without intelligence and can only act according to orders. Starting from level 30, for every level increase in soul power, the power increases by 15%. After reading the introduction of this soul skill, a faint smile appeared on Chen Feng's face. Finally, there is a powerful means of attack. He stood up and released his martial soul, with 2 purple and 1 black soul rings emerging from his feet. Level 31 Third Ring Soul Lord, his combat power is comparable to the ordinary 4th Ring Soul Sect, and even the 5th Ring Soul King. Congratulations, Master. Successfully absorbed the Eternal Soul Ring. Xiaowu came bouncing and laughing happily. Chen Feng was also very happy, holding Xiaowu in his arms and kissing her. Xiaowu quickly covered her mouth and said with a disdainful expression, Master, can you wash your mouth first? There's also green spider blood, it's so disgusting. Chen Feng finally remembered that he had absorbed spider blood for cultivation before. He slapped Xiaowu's plump buttocks and cursed with a smile, you're so good Xiaowu. Now you're disrespecting your master, right? It's really disgusting. Xiaowu rubbed her buttocks, with a gloomy expression on her face. Chen Feng smiled and shook his head, his gaze fixed on Xiaowu's slightly red eyes. After thinking for a moment, he said, Xiaowu, why don't you also take a sip of the blood of the human-faced magic spider? Let's see if you can refine the blood for cultivation. According to the zombies in the Zombie Covenant, after becoming a zombie, one can become stronger through vampire cultivation. As a zombie god's tooth martial soul, I possess the same initial servant ability as zombie venom. After turning Xiaowu into a blood slave, Xiaowu should also have the ability to become stronger in vampire cultivation. I don't want it. Xiaowu paused for a moment, then turned her head to look at the ugly human-faced magic spider. She waved her hands repeatedly, shaking her little head like a tambourine, and retreated in steps. Master, I don't want it. It's too ugly for me to swallow. Just once, give it a try, it sucked in all at once, it's very comfortable, Chen Feng seduced with a smile. No, I don't want it. Xiaowu's whole body is resisting. Chen Feng also knew that it was very nauseating to absorb the blood of the human-faced magic spider. But this human-faced magic spider is a timeless soul beast, and the energy contained in its blood is much stronger than that of an ordinary soul beast. It's not easy to find a 1,000-year soul beast, we can't just waste it like this. Chen Feng thought for a moment and found some leaves to wash, then folded them into funnel-shaped shapes and returned to the human face magic spider. He took some of the human face magic spider's blood under the hollow branch and handed it to Xiaowu, saying seriously, Xiaowu, we are now evil soul masters. Evil soul masters should do something that evil soul masters should do. Vampire cultivation may become the exclusive cultivation method of our evil soul masters, and we must adapt to it. Okay. Xiaowu furrowed her pretty little eyebrows, pinched her nose, and drank the spider's blood in one gulp. It seems like it smells quite good. Xiaowu realized that the spider blood was not as bad as she had imagined. Little did they know that this feeling only came after becoming a blood slave. Ordinary people who suck blood do not have this feeling. Practice and see if you can refine it. Feng urged. Okay, master. Xiaowu nodded, sat cross-legged, and began to practice. Feng sat on the nearby stone as his protector. In about 10 minutes, Xiaowu finished her cultivation and jumped up, grabbing Feng's arm and shaking it vigorously. Master, I can really practice blood sucking. My soul power has increased by a certain amount. Although I haven't broken through yet, I believe that as long as I absorb more spider blood for cultivation, I can quickly break through to level 57. Sure enough. Feng's face showed a hint of smile as he rubbed Xiaowu's hair and said with a smile, all right, then go and suck more. Today, we'll drain all the blood from the human-faced magic spider. Okay, master. Xiaowu didn't refuse again this time and went very happily. The master and servants surrounded the human-faced magic spider, drained its entire body of blood, and then returned to the previous cave to meditate and practice. The blood of the human-faced magic spider contained strong energy. It took Feng an hour to refine all the absorbed spider blood, and his soul power was increased by 3 levels again, reaching level 34. It took Xiaowu about an hour and a half to refine all the spider blood absorbed into her body. Her soul power level is relatively high, but after refining, she only increased by 1 level, reaching level 57. But for other soul masters, their cultivation speed has become very abnormal. Feng and Xiaowu absorbed almost the same amount of spider blood, but their refining speed decreased significantly. Obviously, the speed of blood slave's blood-sucking cultivation is 50% slower than that of his rigid god-tooth soul master. Let's go, follow me to bleed. Feng was overjoyed and led a small dance to engage in a killing spree in the sunset forest, absorbing the blood of soul beasts for cultivation. Until the next morning, Feng's soul power level was raised to level 40, reaching the threshold of breakthrough. Meanwhile, after a day of hunting, Feng also gained 2,000 awakening points, with a remaining awakening point balance of 3,300 points. In addition, Xiaowu's soul power level has also reached level 60, reaching the threshold of breakthrough. If in the past, Xiaowu could independently create soul rings that fit her limits, but now Xiaowu no longer possesses such ability, and soul rings also need to be obtained on her own. At present, in Feng's system space, there is also a 100,000-year soul ring formed after Xiaowu's sacrifice. Feng was originally planning to use it when he reached level 50. According to his calculations, his 4th soul ring has a limit of 50,000 years, and his 5th soul ring should be able to absorb 100,000 years of soul rings. But now Xiaowu has reached level 60, although with her physical strength, it is unlikely that the 6 rings will absorb for 100,000 years. But the soul ring in the system space is Xiaowu's original soul ring, so there should be no accidents for her to absorb it. Feng is considering whether to keep it for himself or for Xiaowu to use. After a moment of contemplation, he decided to give the soul ring to Xiaowu. By the time I reach level 50, perhaps I have already saved enough awakening points and can directly purchase divine soul rings in the system mall. There is no need to forcibly keep them. If given to Xiaowu, she can perfectly absorb and fit 100%, and her strength will definitely increase. Xiaowu's strength has greatly increased, and after the two use their martial soul fusion technique, their strength will naturally skyrocket. Xiaowu, you have reached level 60. Let me absorb this soul ring for you. Feng took out the 100,000-year soul ring and suspended it in front of the two of them. Xiaowu was a bit surprised, then shook her head and said, Master, I can go hunt a soul beast myself. These 100,000-year soul rings are very precious. Master, let's keep them for ourselves. Feng smiled and said, the limit of my 4th soul ring is 50,000 years, and this 100,000-year soul ring is not suitable for me. Moreover, this is the soul ring formed after your sacrifice, and it will be absorbed by you. It will reach 100% compatibility with it, and its power is greater than the average 100,000-year soul ring. When you absorb this 100,000-year soul ring, help me hunt a 50,000-year soul beast together. Okay, thank you, Master. Xiaowu nodded and sat cross-legged again, releasing her soul power and pulling the soul ring to absorb it. As Feng said, this 100,000-year soul ring is absorbed by Xiaowu and perfectly fits without any danger. After successful fusion, Xiaowu obtained 2 soul skills, Void and Explosive Kill 8 Section Throw. Master, it's successful. Xiaowu stood up and released her own soul rings. There were 6 soul rings, 2 yellow, 2 purple, 1 black, and 1 red. The first 5 were still normal, while the 6th red soul ring would inevitably blind others. Feng nodded, with a hint of eerie gaze in his eyes. He smiled and said, Xiaowu, let me give you a great task to bring Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing. Little Dance betrayed third brother. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing. Little Dance betrayed third brother. Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing. Xiaowu was slightly taken aback. You have to pretend to be the same as before and deceive them. Feng smiled and said. Ning Rongrong is his second goal. Although Ning Rongrong doesn't have much combat power, her 9 treasures glass pagoda's auxiliary ability is still very strong. Especially now, Ning Rongrong has a magical space, which can allow teammates to have mutual understanding. It will definitely be a huge surprise for Feng and Blood Slave to use their martial soul fusion skills. And her ability to blend in and control distractions. Perhaps, relying on Ning Rongrong, he can achieve the fusion of multiple martial souls with multiple blood slaves, and his strength is definitely beyond imagination. As for Zhuqing, her soul skills can bring powerful combat power to Feng even in the state of martial soul fusion. Of course, the most important thing is that she has an excellent figure. Okay, Master. Xiaowu nodded and turned to leave. Feng once again devoted himself to hunting soul beasts and practicing bloodsucking. An hour later, when he returned to the cave again, he heard a pleasant sound from a distance. Xiaowu, what are you bringing us here for? Have you recovered yet? This voice is quite gentle, it should be Ning Rongrong. Xiaowu, where's Sangu? He's not with you. This voice is quite cool, it must be Zhuqing. According to the original trajectory, Tang San should have already returned to face the test of Sword Douluo with the Shrek monsters. But Tang San was forced by Feng to peel off Xiaowu's soul ring and soul bone, and suffered heavy damage. At this time, he was still recovering from his injuries in the ice and fire Liangyi eyes. However, he has a blue-silver emperor and a hanging wall, so it is not impossible for him to grow his right arm again. But in the short term, it is definitely impossible. Rongrong, Zhuqing, please be calm and don't be impatient. We'll find out later. The sound of Xiaowu rang out without any emotion. Xiaowu, why do I feel like you've changed? Zhuqing looked at Xiaowu with some confusion, but couldn't see anything unusual. Do you have it? Xiaowu smiled. Ning Rongrong also felt that the little dance in front of her was completely different from what she had known before. But she didn't think much either, just curious and asked, what exactly is it? Can you reveal it, Xiaowu? Xiaowu was getting a little impatient when asked. Just as she was about to say something, she suddenly saw Feng coming in from the cave entrance. A smile appeared on her lips and she whispered, you'll know soon. Zhuqing and Ning Rongrong always thought that Xiaowu's smile was very strange, but they didn't think much about it. At this moment, a pair of sturdy arms hugged Ning Rongrong from behind. Ah! Ning Rongrong was so scared that she couldn't bear to guard her soul. She let out a scream and wanted to escape, only to find that her arms were like iron hoops, tightly gripping her. Even if she releases her martial soul and the soul ring is fully opened, she cannot break free at all. This is also the reason why Feng chose to first hire Ning Rongrong. She is just an auxiliary soul master and does not have much combat power, which can be instantly controlled. If Zhuqing is hired for the first time, he will inevitably encounter stubborn resistance. At that time, he must first unite with Xiaowu to control Zhuqing. In this way, Ning Rongrong may run away. The best strategy is to first restrain Ning Rongrong and let Xiaowu drag Zhuqing. Xiaowu, Zhuqing, help me. Ning Rongrong tried several times, but couldn't break free and could only seek help from Xiaowu and Zhuqing. Release Rongrong. Zhuqing immediately released his martial soul ghost cat, and 6 soul rings, 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 2 black, rose up. Netherworld Spike. Zhuqing let out a soft drink and instantly attacked Feng. Teleportation. Xiaowu's figure flashed and appeared in front of Feng. Waist bow. The first soul skill was unleashed, forcing Zhuqing to retreat. Xiaowu, what are you doing? Zhuqing retreated abruptly and asked in a deep voice. Zhuqing, Rongrong, this is the surprise I have prepared for you. Xiaowu chuckled and then turned to look at Feng, asking, Master, how did I complete the task? Master. Zhuqing was stunned. That man is actually the master of Xiaowu. Shouldn't Xiaowu be with third brother? Why is it here? Suddenly, a master appeared. Xiaowu, you. Ning Rongrong also widened her beautiful eyes, her face full of disbelief. At this moment, when I looked at Xiaowu again, I realized that her smile was so evil. Very good, I will reward you well later. Feng gave her an appreciative smile. Thank you, master. Xiaowu received praise and appeared very happy. Who are you? Let go of me now. Ning Rongrong struggled again. Feng held Ning Rongrong in his arms and leaned his head against her fair neck to smell it. The faint aroma filled his nose, making his blood boil. Who the hell are you and what do you want to do? Ning Rongrong's big eyes were filled with fear, tears streaming down the corners of his eyes. She tilted her head to the side, trying to avoid the man behind her. Little did she know that her posture completely exposed her snow-white neck in front of Feng. Bastard, let go of Rongrong. Zhuqing let out a loud roar and was about to move when she was stopped by Xiaowu. The martial soul was released, and 6 soul rings, 2 yellow, 2 purple, 1 black, and 1 red, appeared from below. Red, a 100,000-year soul ring. Zhuqing was stunned on the spot when he saw the soul ring that could last for 100,000 years. Isn't Xiaowu only at level 56? When did it reach level 60? And you also have a 100,000-year soul ring. No, let go of me. At this moment, Ning Rongrong's frightened voice rang out again, pulling Zhuqing back to reality. Turning his head, he happened to see Feng adding a touch to Ning Rongrong's fair neck. Damn it! Zhuqing was furious and transformed into multiple clones, attacking Feng together. Xiaowu couldn't distinguish which one was the real body for a moment, so she could only randomly choose one to block it. The remaining shadow clones, together, crossed over Xiaowu and launched an attack on Feng. Invincible Golden Body. A layer of golden light appeared on Feng's body, blocking all attacks from Zhuqing's body in the ghost shadow clone. How could you have an invincible golden body? Zhuqing was stunned. Isn't this a soul skill that only third brother and Xiaowu can do? How could this man also know? At the moment when she was stunned, Xiaowu suddenly came over again and grabbed Zhuqing, directly killing Ba Duan and throwing her out of the cave. Please let me go, I can give you anything you want. Seeing Zhuqing blocked by Xiaowu, Ning Rongrong's heart was filled with fear. I don't want anything, as long as you become my slave. Chen Feng whispered in Ning Rongrong's ear, and the heat rushed into her ear. Slave. No. Ning Rongrong's eyes were filled with tears. From now on, I will also be your master. Chen Feng opened his mouth and released his stiff god's tooth martial soul, with 2 sharp teeth extending out. My father is the head of the 7 Treasures Glass sect. Ah. Before Ning Rongrong could finish speaking, he felt a piercing pain in his neck, as if he had been pierced by 2 teeth. He actually bit me with his teeth. This damn pervert. Just as I cursed in my heart, I suddenly felt something flowing into my blood through those 2 teeth. What is that? Did he spit in my blood? A strange idea came to Ning Rongrong's mind. Xiaowu, help me, this pervert. He bit me. You hurry up and save me. We are good friends, right? If third brother were here, he would do the same, wouldn't he? Ning Rongrong began to struggle fiercely again, and when he found that he couldn't struggle, he turned his gaze again to Xiaowu, who was guarding the entrance of the cave. You said Tang San. Xiaowu chuckled and had no emotional attachment to Tang San in her words. I asked him to peel off the 100,000-year-old soul ring and soul bone that I had sacrificed to him and return them to me. At this moment, he is probably still recovering from his injuries in the ice and fire Liangyi eyes. What? Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing, who were preparing to launch another attack outside the cave, were completely stunned. They couldn't imagine that these words were spoken from Xiaowu's mouth. Back then, Xiaowu sacrificed everything and moved many people. The sweetness between her and Tang San can be seen by anyone. She couldn't figure out how such loving 2 people could evolve into what they are now. Xiaowu, you betrayed third brother. Zhuqing couldn't believe it. What is betrayal? It sounds so ugly. I just met a better person who is my master. Xiaowu looked at Chen Feng with a sweet and attached gaze. That kind of gaze, even more than the way she used to look at Tang San. Moreover, Rongrong is about to betray Oscar. And you, Zhuqing, you are also about to betray Dai Mubai. He. Xiaowu looked at Zhuqing outside the cave and said with a smile. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. The First Servant Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. The First Servant Ning Rongrong and Zhuqing, Xiaowu. Zhuqing became angry and attacked again. Xiaowu was also unwilling to be outdone and engaged in a fierce battle with it. Oscar. No, you just let me go. Upon hearing Oscar's name, Ning Rongrong began to struggle violently again. Buzz. At this moment, the dark aura surged wildly and began to transform her soul. What is this? Ning Rongrong felt the aura of darkness. She wanted to struggle, but to no avail. But after waiting for a while, she realized that the dark aura did not harm her at all, but she always felt that something very important had been lost. At the same time, her fondness for Chen Feng inexplicably surged in her heart, to the point where she even wanted to fully immerse herself in that man's body and die for him at any time. This feeling is truly indescribable, yet so real. And Ning Rongrong also struggled from the beginning, until his body gradually softened and collapsed in Chen Feng's arms. The soul has been blackened out, and Ning Rongrong has completely transformed into a blood slave. Ding! Congratulations to the host for his first servant Ning Rongrong. He has obtained the martial soul fusion skill Zombie God Glass Tower, which is limited to use with the blood slave Ning Rongrong. After use, the host and Ning Rongrong's soul power stack, allowing the host to use all of your 2 soul skills and doubling their power. Accompanied by the system prompt sound, a surge of information emerged in the minds of Chen Feng and Ning Rongrong, which was about the introduction of the stiff God Glass Tower. Chen Fengsong let go of Ning Rongrong and licked his lips with a lingering desire. This feeling seems a bit overwhelming. His soul skill information is directly infused by the system and can be instantly mastered. But Ning Rongrong still needs to slowly receive the information of this martial soul fusion technique, which will take some time. Leaving Ning Rongrong to receive information in the cave, Feng walked out of the cave and looked at the fierce confrontation between the two women, saying, "Xiaowu, the fusion of martial souls." Xiaowu forced Zhuqing to retreat from the battlefield and turned around with a smile, saying, "Master, won't you taste it first? Rongrong's figure is also great. I can help you hold on for 1 or 2 hours, no problem." Feng rolled his eyes and said, "Quick battle, quick decision. I also need to go to the Star Forest to obtain the 4th soul ring." His 50,000-year soul ring already has a target, which is the 50,000-year-old human-faced magic spider that Tang San later hunted. "Oh," Xiaowu nodded and leaped to Feng's side. "Xiaowu, how did you become like this?" Zhuqing looked at Xiaowu, who had followed Feng's advice, still feeling somewhat incredulous. Previously, Xiaowu's love for Tang San surpassed her love for Dai Mubai, and Ning Rongrong's loyalty to Oscar. In her opinion, all women in this world have the possibility of betraying their loved ones, except for Xiaowu. Unexpectedly, the first person to betray her lover was the most loyal and unwavering Xiaowu in the past. Zhuqing, the master is very impressive, every aspect is impressive. Xiaowu smiled and said. Buzz. Under Feng's feet appeared 2 purple and 1 black, 3 soul rings. 2,000 years, 1,000-year soul ring. How could this be possible? Zhuqing looked at the 3 soul rings under Feng's feet, his face full of fear. No, this is completely different from the limit of the master's soul ring. Even the most talented third brother, the 3rd soul ring is only over 1,000 years old. Upon hearing this, Feng smiled and said, "That hypocrite Yu Xiaojiang's theory only applies to those mediocre people, and it doesn't apply to me." The mediocre generation. Zhuqing's face darkened. The Shrek 7 monsters have always been known for their innate talents, and the monsters among geniuses have become mediocre among Feng. But she looked at the 3 soul rings under Feng's feet again and couldn't help but fall into silence. It seems that in front of Feng, the Shrek 7 monsters are indeed a bit mediocre. The 1st and 2nd soul rings are all purple, and the 3rd soul ring is a black soul ring that has been around for thousands of years. This is simply unbelievable. Is this your 2nd martial soul? Zhuqing thought of another possibility, and if that's the case, it would be easy to understand and accept. The 2nd martial soul. Sorry, I only have 1 martial soul right now. Feng smiled slightly and said. Is there only 1 martial soul? Zhuqing took a deep breath, squinted her eyes, and said coldly, even if you have exceptional talent, you only have 3 soul rings. Even with Xiaowu, you can't keep me. Is that right? Feng smiled slightly and took Xiaowu's hand. Martial soul fusion technique, stiff and soft bone rabbit. With the sound of their voices, a storm emerged, enveloping the 2. Martial soul fusion technique. Zhuqing was startled. Xiaowu and San Ge have never had the martial soul fusion technique before, and surprisingly, they have also mastered the martial soul fusion technique with this man. Rongrong. She suddenly remembered Ning Rongrong in the cave, her figure flashing, and planned to take advantage of Feng and Xiaowu's martial soul fusion technique to escape with Ning Rongrong. Rongrong, come with me quickly. Seeing the cave and Ning Rongrong standing motionless with his eyes closed, he quickly stepped forward and took Ning Rongrong's hand, then walked out. Ning Rongrong opened his eyes, a hint of black energy flashed away, and then let Zhuqing pull him away from the cave. Zhuqing. Outside the mountain cave, Ning Rongrong held on to Zhuqing. Rongrong, hurry up, if you don't leave again, there won't be enough time, Zhuqing urged urgently. A strange smile appeared on Ning Rongrong's face. Zhuqing, I think it's good to follow the master. Lord, people. Zhuqing was stunned, then startled and quickly wanted to let go of the hand that was holding Ning Rongrong, only to find that he was tightly grabbed by Ning Rongrong. Rongrong, what's wrong with you? Have you also defected? Zhuqing couldn't believe it. It only took a long time before Ning Rongrong defected. How did that man actually do it? Rongrong. Let go of me. Zhuqing's soul power erupted inside his body, shaking Ning Rongrong's hand open and wanting to escape alone. Unfortunately, it's already too late. Bang! A soul master wearing a rabbit mask, flapping a pair of golden wings, fell from the air and blocked in front of Zhuqing. Zhuqing, where do you want to go? The sound of Xiaowu emanated from the soul master's body. Is this a demonic charm? Zhuqing was extremely surprised. He didn't expect Feng and Xiaowu's martial soul fusion technique to be similar to Huliena and Xiaoyu's demonic charm. Little kitten, become my blood slave obediently. Feng's voice emanated from the soul master's body, with a hint of mockery. Buzz. Soul rings emerged from his feet one by one. 10 soul rings. That's the overlapping soul rings of Feng and Xiaowu. However, the stacked soul power did not reach level 100, and even level 90 was not reached, only around level 86. The combination of soul power does not mean that the soul power of a level 40 soul master and a level 60 soul master can reach the soul power of a level 100 soul master. That is impossible. Even with only soul power comparable to level 86, it is enough to crush level 60 Zhuqing. 9 treasures are famous, and the second is speed. Ning Rongrong gave the rabbit-faced soul master another speed boost. Teleportation. Feng appeared in front of Zhuqing with a flash, but Zhuqing was on guard early on and quickly ran to the side. Boom. The stiff wings behind Feng shook, and he was ejected like a shell. In an instant, he chased after him and punched Zhuqing in the stomach. With a loud bang, Zhuqing screamed and flew backwards. Before she could land, Feng flapped his wings again and chased after her with another punch. He did not use any soul skills except for the wings and body of the zombie god. Even so, with terrifying speed and strength, Zhuqing was beaten to the ground with just a few punches, leaving no resistance. Feng lifted his martial soul fusion technique and slowly walked up to Zhuqing, who was lying on the ground and unable to move. In Zhuqing's desperate gaze, he slowly lay down on her. Little kitten, I will be your master from now on. Feng whispered in her ear, then opened his mouth and revealed his stiff teeth, biting into Zhuqing's neck. Die Mubai. Zhuqing let out a desperate roar. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. The Battle of Feng in the 3rd Ring Road and Dai Mubai in the 6th Ring Road. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. The Battle of Feng in the 3rd Ring Road and Dai Mubai in the 6th Ring Road. In the moment of despair, Zhuqing hoped that Dai Mubai could appear in time to save himself. Xiaowu and Ning Rongrong walked over and looked at Zhuqing with a desperate expression on his face. Xiaowu smiled and said, Zhuqing, even if you shout through your throat now, Dai Mubai won't hear you. Let's obediently follow. Feng, who was serving Zhuqing for the first time, almost sprayed. After Xiaowu turned black, the contrast with before was also too big. Listening to this, it's as if Zhuqing is being affected by something. Well, although this posture looks quite similar. Before coming, I had doubts about you and left a secret code along the way. As long as they found out, they would definitely be able to find you. Zhuqing felt something pouring into her blood through the man's teeth. Her heart was filled with fear and unease, but her tone was extremely cold. When they come, they will definitely kill you. She said she knew that Xiaowu's soul could not stay in her physical body for a long time and would never leave third brother. Previously, a person quietly appeared and wanted to take them to a place to talk about something, which made her feel a bit suspicious. She didn't want to go, but she was worried that Ning Rongrong would encounter danger, and at the same time, she wanted to come and see what Xiaowu really wanted to do. After all, in her opinion, Xiaowu's strength is beyond her control. She never expected that Xiaowu would betray her third brother and be with another man. This man also covets Rongrong and her. Moreover, the two of them had such a powerful fusion technique of martial souls that she had no strength to fight back. Now she only hopes that Dai Mubai and the others can quickly find her and save herself from this man's mouth. Xiaowu's pretty face changed slightly and she said coldly, "I didn't expect you to be quite smart. Unfortunately, even if they come, they won't change anything." Although she said so, she still guarded around with Ning Rongrong. If they arrived early, it would be better to delay a little time. Zhuqing did not answer again, and at this moment, a dark aura filled her eyes. There is a very important thing in her mind that is rapidly disappearing. She wanted to catch it, but no matter how hard she tried, it was in vain. Ding! Congratulations on the success of the host's first servant Zhuqing, who has obtained the martial soul fusion skill. This skill can be used together with the blood slave Zhuqing, known as the ghost cat. Accompanied by the sound of system prompts and the end of the initial commission, a surge of information surged in the minds of Feng and Zhuqing. Zombie god ghost cat. Used together with blood slave Zhuqing, with Feng as the main player. After use, the soul power of both sides is stacked, and blood slave can use their own soul skills, while Feng can use all the soul skills of both sides. Double the power of all soul skills. It's really soft. After receiving the information, Feng finally had the thought to feel Zhuqing's soft and delicate body, and his heart was filled with a burst of passion. Looking at Zhuqing, who was receiving information with his eyes closed, Feng leaned down and kissed his soft red lips. Zhuqing opened his eyes and looked at Feng. After seeing him, a hint of shyness flashed in his eyes, and he closed them again, responding with a green and astringent tone. Zhuqing. Rongrong. Just then, a few shouts came from afar. Zhuqing ignored and felt Feng leave before slowly opening her eyes. It's just that I was beaten up by Feng and Xiaowu before, and my injuries haven't recovered yet. I waited for a while before sitting up. Zhuqing, what are you doing? A figure soared into the air and landed not far away, with an extremely ugly face and an incredulous expression in its eyes. He had seen the unfamiliar man lying on top of Zhuqing before, thinking that Zhuqing had been bullied, but now that the man had climbed up from Zhuqing's body, Zhuqing's face showed a hint of shyness without any anger. This made him doubt whether Zhuqing had been forcibly bullied. He seemed to have already seen a green hat on his head. You didn't see everything. Zhuqing sat leaning against a big tree and gave Dai Mubai a faint glance, his eyes and tone extremely cold. Previously, Zhuqing's gaze at him was also indifferent, but he knew that it was deliberately put on by Zhuqing. He often saw the fleeting love in Zhuqing's eyes. But this time, Zhuqing's indifference was different from before. It was truly indifferent, as if she were an insignificant stranger. No, this is not true. Dai Mubai shook his head and waved his hands repeatedly, unable to accept this fact. He turned his head to look at Feng and angrily said, "What have you done to Zhuqing?" "I didn't do anything." Feng shrugged and shook his head, saying, "That's not right. I kissed her for about half a minute just now, and she was quite proactive. Damn it. I'll kill you." Dai Mubai was furious and directly released his martial soul evil eye, White Tiger. 6 soul rings, 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 2 black, appeared from his feet. The third soul skill is the White Tiger Diamond Transformation. At the beginning, use the third soul skill to enhance oneself, and then spray a milky white light ball from the mouth, attacking Feng. This is his second soul skill, White Tiger Flame Light Wave, Long Range Attack Soul Skill. Chen Feng leaped forward and dodged. After landing, he also released his martial soul, the Tooth of the Stiff God, and 3 soul rings, 2 purple and 1 black, emerged from his feet. 2 purple and 1 black. How could this be possible? Seeing Chen Feng's soul ring, Mubai's face was shocked. This is completely different from the master's soul ring limit theory. Moreover, he had never heard of a soul master whose first and second soul rings had reached the purple level, and the third soul ring had reached the black perpetual level. Even the third talented person only reached the level of 10,000 years in the fourth soul ring. This person's talent is so demonic. Who the hell are you? Mubai asked in a deep voice. Chen Feng smiled slightly and said, I am the master of Zhuqing. Damn it. Mubai was furious and leaped forward, launching a fierce attack. Close combat. A cold smile appeared at the corner of Chen Feng's mouth. The first soul skill of the stiff god's body is used, greatly enhancing all attributes. A punch was thrown out. Punching each other with a muffled sound, the two of them took 2 steps back together. How could it be? Feeling the terrifying force emanating from his fist, Mubai's face was filled with fear. It's outrageous that a 3-ring soul master's power is on par with his own 6-ring soul emperor. And, what exactly is this guy's martial soul? I haven't seen his martial soul either. But the teeth have become a bit longer. The White Tiger Demon God has transformed. Mubai showcased his 5th soul skill, increasing his attack power by 150%. The Wings of the Stiff God. Chen Feng stretched out a pair of huge golden wings behind him. White Tiger Meteor Shower. Mubai threw a few punches through the air, and meteor-like light balls poured towards Chen Feng. Boom! The wings of the stiff god behind shook and rose into the air, crossing through the dense meteor shower, heading straight for Mubai. End of this chapter.